Is Joey Badass the king of New York?
No, like nah.
Who's the king of New York? Who's the king of New York?
Nah, you can't. Here's the thing though, like this, since hip hop is a competitive sport, and especially when you're talking about rappers like Joey and Kendrick and stuff like that, it is a revolving door where you got to fight for the crown. Like your resume has to get updated always. So you can make an argument, I guess, if you want to stretch that, what he's doing just this exact snapshot in time, not before it, not after, just in.
Well, you have to. 1999 is before it. He has a classic mixtape to a generation. That's not. No, I'm just debatable. He's got a classic, and he's got one of the most unique gauntlets we've ever seen anybody run through.
Yeah,
that's two big things.
Having
hold on, let's Screwface finish real quick.
When 1999 dropped, maybe you can, but I don't think right now he could be the king of New York because of 1999. But I would say if you want to just make a stretched argument for this exact snapshot in time and say that since he's, I guess, pushing the line for New York and he went up against all these West Coast artists and, came out on top, or it's looking like came out on top, you can maybe make an argument for that. And since there's not a lot of, somebody you can just stamp on as that right now, particularly for New York, kind of. And I also think a thing that people aren't talking about is I think like the New York drill movement kind of did a thing where the values of what, makes you the king of New York shifted, and it almost became like who's the most gangster and stuff like that. So now it's like you may ask some kid who's the king of New York, and they're going to say it's this person because he got the most bodies or he got the biggest click. So I honestly couldn't even say it, but I would say no. I don't think he's the king of New York.
To that point, what I think is really interesting is Pop Smoke rapped about being the king of New York in his bars, multiple songs. It was very upfront in his music. It was something he aspired to have, and he put together that, a project that was probably the last big respected New York project. I always give New York drill a caveat because it comes from London, and I think that's always weird to me. I think it's weird when New York finds a whole lot of success taking sounds from other regions. It just feels weird to me. It's not the New York. That's where I'm like, Reason, this ain't the New York I know, but I'm not gonna shit on drill or anything like that. But Pop Smoke got that crown, and I think he earned it in the right way. And he was almost giving it posthumously at the same time because he passed so fast. And then they tried to give it to 5-Yo Foreign. And 5-Yo Foreign said he wanted to beef with Black Boy Max about Airbnbs. So I think he voted himself off the island. I know you want to say something, FD. What you got?
Yeah. So one thing I think is important to think about in the concept of, especially a king of New York, goes back to something Mex said earlier, which is the way that the economics of hip hop have made that concept low key, like, impossible to attain, if not irrelevant, or maybe not irrelevant, but like it don't work like it used to. Because to me, to be the king of a region wasn't just that you were the best rapper, even had the best like music coming out of that region, because like Chicago, I'm from Chicago. Chicago is so bipolar. Like whoever you could ask so many different people, and some people would say Common and Lupe and Kanye, and other folks was talking about Twista and Do or Die. You know what I mean? Like, so like it doesn't work perfectly, period. But now specifically because to be the king of a region is, I think, clout driven. And because clout isn't from purely music anymore, I struggle to even like, I couldn't call anybody in New York the king of New York right now, because beyond our specific circle, like if you ask me, I would probably say Benny the Butcher, right? But beyond like the hardcore hip hop heads, that concept, like I think Screwface kind of hit nail on the head. It's gonna be, 456 Duckworth. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be somebody with three things in front of their name, in a two syllable last name. And
So,
with a lot of bodies.
1 second applause. With a lot of bodies.
You know, like and
Step aside for 4, 5, 6 Duckworth.
right.
With a lot of
Hottest
bodies.
out of New York.
A lot of bodies before so I said and that's universal. I'm just my train of thought. But my point is, we have to keep in mind that it's clout driven. So because it's clout driven, it has to be Joey. But until it's matched with a crossover clout, until Joey's able to get some motion, not just amongst us and not just amongst like the hardcore heads, but also like I need Joey to pop up with Castanet. You know what I'm saying? Not really, but kinda. You know what I mean? Like that's important. I know we don't like to hear that.
I want to add this context to exactly what you're saying. Right now, Joey Badass is the hood's favorite villain. Find a hood, he is the favorite villain. That's why we heard so many unique references showing up. Go find some nerdy kids, they love him in Mr. Robot. Go find some old heads, they love him as Inspector Deck. Go find some people who like cologne, they like him with his suits on with no shirts and his chest out. Clout's pretty high. Screwface, what you got?
I will say though, with me saying, because I dismissed it pretty bad. I didn't mean to dismiss it like that. Like he's not. I'm just saying he could be though. Like with the momentum he has right now, and even with the stuff you're saying, he has the tools and the weapons. And I even have started to notice on social media the way that like they're kind of tying him with the Knicks. I'm seeing like when the Knicks win or the Knicks lose, I'm seeing Joey Badass memes. And I even saw like this one meme that's going around where it's like him getting out of a car in slow motion and he has like all Knicks stuff on. He has the eyes right now that if he delivers on this, like people are talking about his album, if he delivers on this album and like FD said, even though like, I don't know if he's being serious, but honestly, if he does some stuff like pop up with Kai Cenat and he can make the argument that he is like, he has the lane right now that if he fires in a few months or if he has like a crazy run for these next few months, it's going to be hard to say he's not. I would say that.
I'll say this.
I want real quick, John. I want to throw this in there again, guys. He's 30 years old. He got the clout. He got a legacy. He's got a generation. The album is what we're waiting to see. But he got a battle. So no matter what Curtis say, he got a battle.
You got momentum. You got momentum.
What'd you say for me for?
What you get me for?
That's straight.
Bad,
Quiet. It did not get
No. Okay, three things. One, Ice Spice got her oats back. So just
Yeah, what happened?
I'm just
Never mind.
sidebarring.
We can't
Okay.
do that. We be in trouble.
Okay.
Whole different
Okay. Two, Nas is still breathing. And not only is Nas breathing, he is breathing a lot of fire on a lot of albums consecutively, back to back. Now, I know that
those guys are already those guys have graduated into the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Everything we get from them is extra. I think it's unfair to compare Kid Chris and Kai Cash to Nas. I don't think that's where this conversation.
Well, the only reason I bring Nas in rather than Jay is like I don't think Jay's out here defending his crown at all. I think Nas is still a participant in the game. I do still caveat that in a new category. Like I don't think that's the crown Joey's battling for. But what I will say about Joey is he may not be the king, but he is the Fresh Prince. He is the Fresh Prince in New York. I think if you asked people who love hip hop in New York right now, he's the name. And yes, you could say the Griselda guys, but I don't think that even the Griselda guys have taken it to that level that Joey wants to go yet. And I think we all can agree if he drops a classic album, because he has classics already, if he drops another classic album at this moment with the heat of this battle, with the eyes on him, that's cemented right now for this moment. But he needs that, I think.
Mac, you're in New York. What you think?
I think they're all right. I think everyone's right. I think Screwface is on point with the analysis that, you know, there's a king, an overarching king, and then there's the king of the moment. And I think Joey had
Is that everybody? That's just look at that? See,
There's a moment, and he has,
about to say.
he has a resume that allows him to, that gives him a path to that crown. And like FD said, there's so many different factors other than who raps the best that makes you the king of NY. And a lot of it is financial, a lot of it is marketing, a lot of it is clout based. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be that way, which is why Nas still gets the nod in a lot of different categories, because he's relevant. It's fire. The money is there. The clout is there. All these things are still in spot. But I think Joey can make a run and solidify that spot for the future. I think he's definitely got it for the moment. I think he's got something for the moment. I think he's got a claim for the moment. I like that Fresh Prince line, Jeremy. I think that's spot on for what he is. And the Prince can become a king if he keeps going. But New York has had plenty of kings. The kings of New York. I'm one of the few of those. New York has had plenty of kings. We've never had, outside of Jay and Nas, who had to fight for it. Jay had his time, Nas had his time, and Biggie went for it. There's a lot of people who
but people fight over it, and that's the thing that I found really interesting about this. Right? People are calling me a Joey Badass fan. I'm a fan of hip hop fan. One, but two, I'm a fan of incredible narratives and things we haven't seen before. Right, and not even manufactured narratives. I'm saying if you really look at this right now, Joey Badass pulled the King of New York crown out the storage locker. He dusted it off, shined it up. No one been talking about this. He put it on his head. He went outside. People said, oh, you got to go through some people. So he said, okay, I'm going to go through some people. Right now, he got the crown because he said it. Now, who's going to say, no, you don't, Joey? That is the next step to this.
Nas fans. Nas fans are going to say, no, you don't.
That's a whole different thing. Like Nas,
but they don't care. That's the problem. His fans are very fresh and new, and they don't care.
Hold on. Let me land on this real quick. There's nothing Nas can do right. Nas can drop 5 bricks in a row. He can drop 5 farts like Ice Spice right now, and it's not going to dent his legacy. Okay, like that's a different thing. That's a whole different generation. That's a whole all those guys are cemented. That is just what that is. You need a king for every generation, and based on everything that FD was pointing out earlier, I don't think a lot of these kids were over here listening to Magic. I don't think they were just bopping the King's disease. Based on what you said about the clubs and the radio, I'm curious if they even heard these joints.
I challenge
4, 5, 6 bodies.
4, 5, 6 bodies.
Yo, you got
That's the name of the album. I gotta roll.
Wait, just let me get. I challenge that strictly because if you're a Joey Badass fan, you're probably a Nas fan. He's 100% in that vein. So if I can't say that people who are bumping 1999 aren't bumping Magic.
If you are a fan of Unique and a Red Bull Cypher, are you also a fan of Nas? Is that the same thing? If you're a fan of Unique, does that make you a fan of Nas?
I think the same audience that loves the Red Bull Cyphers are Nas fans. I think the people who appreciate the Red Bull Cyphers are probably Nas fans.
I mean, hey, man, 1 second applause to Nas. Curtis.
Not to say I don't disagree. Not to say I disagree with you. Not to say I disagree with you. I believe that Joey has the moment and can go for it. I don't want to get that misconstrued.
And I think the crown is someone's going to have to take it from Joey. We're talking the King of New York crown, right? And there was cats who like Esquire, MFN Esquire. He dropped a fire track last week. Kid Chris dropped a dope track. Kai Cass dropped a good dope track. Nick Caution's track. It was in support of Joey, but I thought he came with the energy I haven't seen in a long time. Like there was a lot of cats from New York that did come outside because of what Reason said. And that to me is what's most exciting because I don't remember, I can't tell you the last time New York as a city had this much light and attention and energy on it. As a city, not necessarily as a virus. You say what?
Graph's album was crazy. The album we did with 38 Special was nuts.
I'm not talking about music. I'm talking about energy as a city. Right.
I apologize. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's no talented artists. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
Like,
no.
the conversation is King of New York. Well, like I haven't thought about this in like since I was laughing at Tekashi. I was like, dang, look what happened. Look what happened to the city. Tekashi took the crowd, and no one's taking it from him. No one's smacking.
That's probably the last time that it was relevant like this convo.
We are never going to live that Tekashi thing down, ever. That's never going away.
No one showed up to PM Dawn Tekashi. There was no KRS-One to say, no, this isn't happening.
He had security, dude. He's surrounded about cops. Like, you couldn't even get to him to do that. He had gangbangers and cops. Like, I don't know how you PM'd on him at all. We're never going to live that.
Culture united. Our culture united. Our culture united. Our culture united. Connecting all over the world. 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 Connecting all over the world.